Hey guys, it's Nian again, and I'm bringing you game 3 of the 4GG Why do I keep saying 4GG Tasia? I just cast that early today. The 4GG Stephano series, and it is game number 3, so basically whoever wins this wins through to the semi-finals. After quite a good game last match on Metropolis, I think it was. Yes, GSL Metropolis. And the SCVs are going to do their thing and start taking minerals from the mineral patches. Stephano as the Zerg in the bottom corner of Cloud Kingdom. I think this is TSL 4 Cloud Kingdom. And going to be what I like to call this quick supply depot, because it saves mining time and it's sort of quite quick to get the SCV to and from the mineral patch. But we're going to see the Overlord beginning to move out alongside a Ling just to check for any sort of proxy. Probably because proxy marauders have become quite big on this map and also on Entombed Valley, which is strange. Because I always liked Entombed Valley, mainly because of the back passages which I could easily put a proxy pylon in. But for some reason people have found quite easy ways to Marauder Rush on that. Some may say that it's my own fault for not scouting the Marauder Rush, but they tend not to be on the usual scouting path, and it's a different place each game, so it's a bit hard. That drone gets chased out of town, and it might try to delay it's trying to delay the natural, but it should go down eventually, and that SCV sneaks in there and manages to take it. And we've got a bit of a standoff between the drone and the SCV. It's a bit like Benny Hill. I should get the Benny Hill music out. However, I don't think Fraps will record that. It might, but I don't know, because it decides not to want to record Starboard, which is a bit annoying, because for starters I could put EG there instead of Millennium, because Stephano has transferred to Team Evil Geniuses as of early September, and that Overlord just gonna check to see, yes, that command center is definitely building. And we're going to see the barracks coming down, as well as the spawning pool and another hatchery for Stephano. So going to be doing pretty much mirror at the moment, I suppose you could say. Both taking expansion, and there's the good luck have fun from Stephano. A tiny bit late. Stephano tends to put the good luck have fun in quite early on, because he is so mana. And spawning pool finishing up. Probably going to see a Roach Warren come down pretty quickly afterwards. But orbital command coming out for 4GG. And factory as well. So presumably going to see reacted Hellions again. I'm not sure, but he's taking his dual gas. So we might see Cloaked Banshee and reacted Hellion like he did in the last game, which he won decisively, getting 62 worker kills to 22. Which was just absolutely amazing. And he managed to pull it back, because if you didn't watch the last game, watch the last game, because it was epic. And if you don't like my casting, then you can always watch, I think Dreamhack are uploading their VODs to Twitch. But, well, Twitch is storing their VODs. But React coming down for the barracks, and there is the factory producing Hellions. So, Starport going down. So, 4GG doing 1-1-1. He is quite fond of it. And there is going to be the reactor for reacted Hellions and Tech Lab for Cloak Banshees, which is something that he did in the last game, even if it was a tiny bit delayed by all the roaches and whatnot. That Overlord checking to see that there's not a proxy racks or anything, that he's clear to expand over there. And double gas on these, so we might actually be he's not taking the gases there. But we might well be seeing muters. I've not seen Stephano go for muters or broodlords as much as other players like, say, Vortex. But taking the double glass, Zergs don't have glass. The double gas surely indicates that he is going for some sort of flying unit or gas-intensive unit, given that most of the Zerg ground units are quite mineral intensive, such as the Ling or the Roach. Roaches have some gas, but They don't need as much as, say, a Mutalisk or anything. But we're going to see Ling speed anyway, as it's always good to have in case you need to fall back to Lings. And he's going to get just the one drone kill before he has to start going up into the expansion. And those 5 queens are going to shut it down pretty quickly. But not before he gets, say, 1 or 2 roaches. Managing to get 2, I think that was. Yeah, no, 3. So, pretty good for GG, but it isn't really worth losing the 4 Hellions. And though that absolute massive queens, all 6 of them, just demolishing all the Hellions. Stephano is losing more workers, up to 8 workers now. But units lost tab, it's pretty even at the moment. In fact, it's dead even in the resources lost tab. But Stephano getting the upgrades, he's like the Tasia of upgrades, getting them really quite early on. But there's the Cloaked Banshee, and there is a Spore Crawler finally going down, but it's not going to be in time. Those Lings aren't going to be worth anything if there's no detection. And there's the Overseer morphing as well as the Lair. Has he started creating a Spire yet though? That's the thing that I want to see, because I really want to see I really want to see some good Muta play out of Stephano, because Muta play is often absolutely epic. Well, not epic, it's annoying if you're on the receiving end of it, but it is quite, it's like the Cloaked Banshee of the Zerg, except it's not cloaked, and they tend to come in about packs of 10 instead of packs of 2, and they're not mechanical. So, sort of like Cloaked Banshee. I use the term sort of quite liberally, but there's going to be another Banshee coming out and it's going to be spotted by that Overseer. Just presumably he's going bleh. I can't do a good Overseer, but I was just getting some weird sound effects and I don't know quite what they were. It might have been vomiting larvae, but it doesn't usually sound like that, and it doesn't usually happen over at the Terran's base. Oh, it might have just been an exaggerated Hellion blast. If they do it all at once, sometimes it can get a bit strange. But we are going to see mass bio. That is the ability. Wait, 4GG is actually going to have the ability to produce 8 Marines at once. Sorry, 9 Marines at once. And that's not include. Well, that is including the tech lab. But Stim is going to finish. So there is going to be a hell of a lot of firepower coming down. And if he reacts as Medivacs, then he's just going to have massive survivability and might actually just outlast Stephano, which is something that you don't usually see, because Stephano just usually pounds you and keeps pounding you and has superior macro and just pounds you into submission. Those 2 Marines going to be actually changelings, just going to be just sitting there, and that's what it is. It's Overseer's depositing changelings, I think. Yeah, I think that was what it was. There it is again. Strange, I don't see an Overseer anywhere near. The only one I see is there. However, it's showing that there are 2 Overseers out, so possibly another Overseer. However, that's there. Oh well, back to the game. Infestors are out for Stephano, so that's going to it could well shut down the bio of 4GG, which could be a severe problem, because that seems to be all he's gone for. And those Lings are going to take down that Hellion. Problem with the Hellion is it has to stop and fire, whereas with most units they actually have to stop and fire. But apart from Phoenixes don't have to stop and fire, they can just keep going. And I think Void Rays can just keep going as well. But we are going to see the third begin to be fully populated, and those Lings are just running around, just don't know where to go. I suppose that Lings don't really have homes, but the Overlord's going to have to put down creep. We're just getting confused between the term Overlord and Overseer. I forgot that Overseers have many more eyes and are generally a different shape, which is quite strange, because other than that, and between that and that, only sort of similarity is that they're flying and have sort of the club-like sort of features on their sort of hands, which is a bit strange, sort of there and there. But we're going to see the macro hatch come down for Stephano, as well as massive creep spread. He's pushed out across over half the map. So that's going to be a massive vision and sort of general micro bonus, I suppose. But there is going to be quite a big tank line up here at the third. And what I actually want to see someone do eventually is push creep into their opponent's base. Should be pretty special to be able to do that. It would need a pretty unvigilant opponent. But it looks as though we are going to have a marine drop in the possibly the fourth. But that's not finished up yet. He could try and deny the fourth if we just hook onto this medevac. But we do have a group of lings making their way up towards the third, and it is just going to duck away for a second and converge on these marines. But 4GG might choose to move out, and this medevac has spotted the fourth. And will Stephano cancel it? No, he won't. And 4GG just loads up before the lings can get to his marines. They've stimmed, so they're not on that good health. That spore crawler can't quite... Oh, but there's a fungal. And it's going to get taken down by the queen. Will he get fungled again? No. But those lings... Oh, but there is a massive push out for 4GG. 4GG doing the ultimate in multitasking, which is not what I'm doing at the moment. Mixing drop play and also standard play. There is a lot of banelings. A fungal on those marines and then a baneling detonation. Those two tanks go down pretty quickly. Fungals on pretty much every clump of marines. And there's only one medevac out at the moment. 4GG decides to move up some more of his marines, and there's going to be the scan to try and clear out some of the creep tumors. The question is, will he go for those banelings are just about to finish morphing, and 4GG needs to focus them down. That hatchery is going to fall, but the question is it worth it, as there is 3 ultralisks out as well as a massive lings. So if 4GG gets a decent surround, it should be pretty good. And I say that just as if it's something that you'd normally say, because I've not really heard many people say something's pretty good in that way before. But those ultras could get quite quickly caught out. I'll put on unit health bars, because it could always be useful. And it's actually going to be lift up onto the high ground. He could try to take down the ultralisk cavern, but is instead going for those overlords. And there we go, there is the stim up into the mineral line. And he's going to try and ladder micro by the looks of it. Takes out that ultralisk, but the rest of his army is just getting completely and utterly decimated. But on the back of this, he's expanding. He's actually double expanding. That planetary fortress is going to finish up. He'll need detection to take out the creep, because it will keep losing health as long as it's on creep. But this is going to be pretty epic, and if it comes down to it, because double expanding off the back of that attack is a pretty bold move. It says something about your willingness to macro. But he does scan up and try to remove that creep. That planetary fortress is going to have to be healed at some point. And Stephano, I think he's going to try and move out and try and deny this expansion. He's going to probably try and morph that into a planetary fortress as soon as possible. But there's going to be a big ball here, just trying to make sure that there's sort of nothing coming past that choke, even though it could be pretty easy to overwhelm if you've got the right number of lings. But those marauders, they've been through the walls, they need a bit of a heal from those medevacs. And I think I just heard something on Burrow, but oh well. Got quite a few ultralisks out. How many do we have in total? We have only those 8, so those 8 are the only ones on the field at the moment. That drop just completely and utterly shut down. And that queen could well take out those medevacs, but the queen goes down before anything else can happen. And 4GG actually has a pretty decent position because the Ultralisks can barely get in. Only a couple of Lings are able to get in at a time. And this could actually be a pretty good position. He might actually be able to kill off that Ultralisk if there's nothing range there. That Infestor might try, well, one of the Infestors, will it? There's one Fungal. But, there we go, there's a nice Baneling destination. That Ultralisk got out by the skin of its tusks. 15 health left. And it does have level 5, is that level 5 ground carapace? Blimey. I didn't know Zergs could go that high. But, I don't play Zerg, so, yeah. And it is regenerating some health. It's gone up to 21 from 15. But if we look at the production tab, there are 10 Banelings coming out, as well as 3 for 4GG. But Banelings for Stephano, it might be quite dangerous to go alone. So I think 4GG is going to have to take this and do something important with it. And that was an awful reference, and that I should not have tried to go anywhere with that. I should have just left it at it's dangerous to go alone. But that queen again, there's always a queen there just trying to deny the drop over the top, and it always gets taken down. Those broodlings from the Evo chamber is going to do a tiny bit of damage, but he is going into the drone line of Stephano, even though most of this is pretty much expended. I'm beginning to wonder if we have actually seen a Spire. His main's completely mined out, and the mass Ultralisk army, 9 of them, 10 of them I think, are just going to come out and try to take one of the bases, or just try and keep the drops from happening, because those drops are really going to be what kills Stephano. And I can't believe this, I've just noticed there's another base up here. 4GG's macro is ridiculous. 2,500 income, supporting a bio army. That is ridiculous. He's building up a trust fund. I mean, I don't know how he can keep this up. He must have, he has a ridiculous number of SCVs. Over half, no, not quite over half, but a lot of his supplies in SCVs. He's even building barracks in the centre of the map. Well, not exactly in the centre, but he's building quite a lot of barracks still. And those are two Infestors getting caught slightly off guard, but here come the Lings. Infested Terrans in the middle of the army. The Ultras are going to come up from behind, and they are, well, not from behind, they're going to come up from the front and actually try and take down most of that army, but it's not good enough. And he's going to try and manage to take down this base, but not before the base has itself dealt more damage. That one Ultralisk goes down, 2 Ultralisks go down, 3 Ultralisks go down, 4 Ultralisks possibly, if he decides to stud step. No! That one Ultralisk just there. It's going to stay up. And I don't know how. I don't know how it managed to stay up, but it did. But the thing is, 4GG, he might have lost the base down here, but he still has the planetary fortress up here, which is all that he needs. The army of Stephano now going to try and start moving out towards the... Oh, he's actually moved off those 2 barracks, or just cancelled them. But it's going to... It could be tense. Quite a few medevacs also coming out for 4GG. This could be... This could be quite significant, mainly because he could fit all his army in those medevacs. He could just do one mass dump on the main, and then he would... Millennium, that's just a general statement. Team Millennium wouldn't have any production facilities. But it's kind of confusing when you have both players form either on or formerly on Team Millennium, and they both have the Millennium prefix. That Infestor, is it going to be spotted? I don't think it is. And those infested Terrans, they could well kill that siege tank, and I think they're going to. Yes, that elite squadron of former infested Terrans. It's the SOS of infested Terrans. But there is a massive push coming down. They take out the Ultralisk cavern. Those broodlings have nowhere to go. Take down the natural. No more Baneling Nest. No more Roach Warren. All that's left is the infestation pit and spawning pool. I think this might be GG for Stephano, because This amount of bio is not going to go down without a fight, and there are some decent fungals, but there are too many medivacs, and Stephano frantically taps out with well played, and wishes his former teammate good luck in the future tournament, which I think that 4G may need given the bracket. He will be going up against Tasia, possibly Hero. There might have to be a liquid team kill for that to happen. He might be going up against no, he won't. No, he might be going up against Vortex, I think. But got a massive mountain to climb, even though he is a very good former Brood War and current StarCraft Pro. I will see you in the next quarter-final game that I cast. I don't know which one that'll be, because I have 3 to choose from. But anyway, I will see you in the next ones. This has been a pleasure to cast. I've been Nian. Thank you for watching.